I never thought XXXing a coworker in the office conference room would be caught on camera and shown to me the next morning by security, but here we are. I'm a 31-year-old project manager at a tech startup in Austin, and this is the story of how one drunken night at a company party destroyed my professional reputation and forced me to start over. David worked in marketing, 33, charming, good at his job. We'd been work-friendly for about a year, same company but different departments, so we didn't interact daily. Just cross-functional meetings, project updates, company lunches. But there was always something there, a spark, chemistry. The kind of awareness where you know exactly when someone walks into a room even before you see them. We'd flirt casually, nothing serious. Coffee runs together, inside jokes in group chats. Sitting next to each other at team events. I knew I was attracted to him, and I'm pretty sure he felt the same, but we both knew the company had strict policies about relationships between employees. It was in the handbook we'd all signed. No romantic or ex-sexual relationships between coworkers. Period. Violations could result in termination, so I kept it professional. Friendly but boundaried. Or at least I tried to. That Friday in November, everything changed. We'd just finished a massive product launch. 6 months of brutal work leading up to it. Late nights, weekend sprints, endless troubleshooting, high stress. I'd personally logged probably 80-hour weeks for the past 2 months. My team was exhausted. Everyone was exhausted. But the launch went perfectly. Client was thrilled. Revenue projections exceeded expectations. User adoption was higher than forecasted. It was a genuine success. The company decided to celebrate with a party at the office. Not just cake in the break room, but a real party. Catered food, open bar, DJ, dancing. The whole leadership team encouraging everyone to let loose and celebrate. I showed up around 7 wearing jeans and a nice top instead of my usual work clothes. The office had been transformed, desks pushed aside, lights dimmed, string lights hung, music playing. Bar set up in the kitchen, catering spread in the main area. People were already drinking and loosening up. The atmosphere was celebratory, relieved. Everyone talking about how glad they were the project was over, how they could finally sleep, finally have weekends again, finally have lives. I grabbed a vodka soda from the bar and found my team. We toasted our success, talked about the most stressful moments, laughed about the close calls, the near disasters, the late-night debugging sessions. We drank. The alcohol hit fast because I hadn't eaten much, grabbed some food from the catering but kept drinking. Everyone was. The CEO was buying, no expense spared. David appeared around 8. I saw him across the room talking to some people from his department. He was wearing dark jeans and a blue button-down instead of his usual work polo. Hairstyled. Looked good. Really good. We made eye contact. He smiled, excused himself from his conversation and came over. We talked. Small talk at first, about the project, about the party, about how drunk the CEO already was. Then deeper, about how exhausted we both were, how much we'd sacrificed, how good it felt to finally relax. We drank more. The conversation flowed easily like it always did with him, laughed at the same things, finished each other's thoughts. That connection was undeniable. By 10, the party was in full swing, people dancing badly to 80s music, someone attempting karaoke, the CEO giving a drunken emotional speech about how proud he was of everyone, thanking us for our dedication, getting teary, people cheering, more drinks, more dancing. David and I stayed close, talking, touching casually, arms brushing, hands on shoulders. The flirting that had been harmless for months suddenly felt charged, dangerous. The alcohol lowered inhibitions, made everything feel possible. Around 11 people started leaving. Early morning plans, kids at home, long drives, responsible adults remembering they had real lives outside the office. The crowd thinned considerably. By 11:30, maybe 20 people remained. Mostly younger employees, the hardcore partiers, people who'd rather keep drinking than go home alone. The music was still loud, lights still dim, alcohol still flowing. The party had shifted from company celebration to unofficial after-party. David leaned close, asked if I wanted to go somewhere quieter to talk. I knew what that meant, knew exactly what he was suggesting, knew I should say no, should make an excuse and leave, should go home. But I'd had 4 drinks, maybe 5, and I wanted to, wanted him, had wanted him for months. So I said yes. We went to the conference room called Innovation Hub. It was on the 2nd floor, big glass walls, but the blinds were drawn closed for privacy. Someone had left the colored party lights on in there. Soft blue and purple glow. Music still audible but muffled. We closed the door behind us, sat on the couch they kept for long meetings, started talking about the project again. About specific moments, about how relieved we were it was over, about what came next, what other projects were in the pipeline. Normal work talk. Then the conversation shifted. David said he'd been wanting to talk to me alone for a while. I asked why. He said he thought I knew why. I did, but I wanted him to say it. He said he'd been attracted to me since we met, said he thought about me constantly, said he knew it was against policy but he didn't care anymore. Then he leaned in and kissed me. I kissed back. It felt like something that had been building for months and finally broke through, his hands in my hair, mine on his chest. We were drunk and reckless, and the office was nearly empty, and it felt safe. Private. Just us in our little bubble. Things escalated. We moved from the couch to against the wall, hands everywhere. Breathing heavy. We were trying to be quiet. The music outside covered most sounds. We were lost in it, lost in each other. 6 months of tension and stress and attraction finally released. We forgot completely where we were. Forgot this was our office. Forgot about the cameras that were definitely in conference rooms for security purposes. Forgot about company policy. Forgot about consequences. Forgot about everything except each other and this moment. Eventually we stopped. Reality crept back in. We straightened our clothes, laughed nervously about what we'd just done, about how crazy it was, how unlike us. We were both usually so responsible, so professional, but tonight we'd thrown all that away. We agreed to keep it quiet, agreed to talk later about what it meant, whether we wanted to pursue something despite the policy. Left the conference room separately. I went to the bathroom to fix my hair and makeup, checked myself in the mirror, looked flushed but okay. Went back to the party for a few minutes to avoid suspicion, said goodbye to a few people, then left. Drove home feeling buzzed and reckless and alive. Felt like a teenager again, giddy. Fell into bed without overthinking it. Fell asleep immediately, exhausted from the week and the alcohol and everything else. Saturday morning, my phone rang at 9. Unknown Austin number. I answered groggily. It was Rick from building security. Deep voice. No nonsense. He said he needed to see me in the office immediately. Something about an incident last night. My stomach dropped. I asked what incident. He said he'd rather explain in person. Asked if I could come in within the hour. I said yes. Hung up, lay there for a minute trying to process. Incident. What incident? Then it hit me. The conference room. Oh, God. The conference room had cameras. All the conference rooms had cameras. I'd known that. Everyone knew that. But last night I'd completely forgotten. I drove to the office with growing dread, parked in the empty lot. Saturday morning. Building was dead. Went to the security desk. Rick met me there. Older guy, 50s. Former cop, probably. Serious face. Didn't smile, didn't make small talk, just led me to a small office behind the security desk. Gestured for me to sit in the chair across from his desk. He sat down, pulled his keyboard closer, started typing. I waited, heart pounding. He turned his monitor toward me, pulled up video footage, timestamp from last night, 11:47 p.m., conference room camera. And there we were, me and David. The grainy security footage captured everything. Walking in, sitting on the couch, talking, moving closer, kissing, standing up, moving against the wall. Everything, all of it. Every moment captured on camera. My face burned. I felt sick, wanted to look away, but couldn't. Rick let it play for maybe 30 seconds. long enough to make his point, then paused it. He said the cameras in all conference rooms ran 24/7. Said all footage was automatically saved to company servers. Said it was reviewed regularly as part of security protocols. Said what David and I had done violated multiple company policies. Said the footage would be kept in the archive indefinitely. Said HR would be informed first thing Monday morning. Said I should expect a meeting with them. Asked if I had anything to say. I tried to apologize. My voice came out shaky. Said I'd been drinking. Said I wasn't thinking clearly. Said it would never happen again. Said I was so sorry. He nodded. Said that wasn't his department. Said I needed to speak with HR about consequences. Said David had been called in too. Would be there in 20 minutes. Said we should leave separately to avoid any further policy violations. Told me I could go. I left the building in a daze. Sat in my car. Put my head on the steering wheel. Tried not to cry. Failed. Cried anyway. Drove home. Spent the rest of Saturday and all of Sunday sick with anxiety. Couldn't eat. Couldn't sleep. Just played the security footage over and over in my mind. Played out worst-case scenarios. Getting fired. Getting blacklisted in Austin's tight tech community. Never getting another good job. Having to move. Having to explain this humiliation to future employers. Monday morning came too fast. I got to the office early, tried to act normal, sat at my desk, couldn't focus on anything. Around 9:30, I got an email from HR. Meeting at 10, conference room. Different conference room, not Innovation Hub, thank God. I went. HR director was there, woman in her 40s, professional, cold. She asked me to sit, pulled out the company handbook, read the policy about workplace relationships, read the policy about appropriate conduct in company facilities, asked if I'd read these policies when I was hired. I said yes. Asked if I understood them. I said yes. Asked if I had anything to say about Friday night. I apologized, said I'd made a terrible mistake, said the alcohol impaired my judgment, said I took full responsibility. She said they were discussing consequences with senior leadership. Said they'd get back to me by end of week. Said in the meantime I should maintain complete professionalism, should avoid contact with David, should not discuss this with other employees. I agreed to everything, left the meeting feeling even worse. Word spread fast, that same day. Offices are gossip mills, nothing stays secret. Especially not something captured on camera, especially not something as juicy as two coworkers hooking up in a conference room during a company party. By Tuesday, everyone knew. I could tell. The whispers that stopped when I walked into rooms. The looks, some judgmental, some amused, some sympathetic. But all of them knowing, all of them having opinions. I felt exposed, vulnerable, like everyone had seen me naked, which in a way they had. David tried to talk to me Tuesday afternoon, caught me in the hallway. Said we needed to discuss what happened, discuss what we were going to do. I said there was nothing to do. We'd made a mistake. We had to live with it. He said maybe we should just own it. Tell HR we wanted to date, see if they'd make an exception. I said no. Said that would make everything worse. Said we needed to keep our distance. He looked hurt, said fine, walked away. We barely spoke after that. The worst part was work itself. Meetings became awkward. People treated me differently. Didn't want to collaborate. Didn't want to be alone with me in rooms. Didn't trust me the same way. My reputation as a professional was destroyed. 3 years of good work, of proving myself, of building credibility. Gone. Replaced by the image of me. XXXing someone in Innovation Hub while security cameras rolled. Friday afternoon HR called me in again. Same conference room. Same HR director. She said they'd made a decision. Said they were offering me 2 options. Option 1, transfer to a different department. Different manager, different projects. Basically a lateral move but away from my current team. Option 2, resign. They couldn't fire me outright because technically I hadn't violated any fireable policies. The handbook said relationships were prohibited, but the penalty was usually written warning first offense. But they were making it clear I wasn't welcome in my current role. Making it clear my career path at this company was over. I took option 1, took the transfer. Moved to a smaller team handling less important projects that were frankly beneath my skill level. My new manager was younger than me, less experienced, but she'd been told the whole story, knew why I was being transferred, didn't trust me, didn't give me good assignments, kept me at arm's length. The message was clear. I was damaged goods. I'd be tolerated but not valued. David quit 2 weeks after that. Couldn't handle it. The atmosphere, the whispers, the judgment, the loss of respect. He told me on his way out, said he'd found a job in Denver, said he was leaving Austin for a fresh start, said he was sorry everything got so messed up. We met for coffee before he left, last time we ever spoke. Both agreed we'd made a terrible mistake. Both wished we could take it back. Said goodbye. He moved. I stayed, tried to rebuild. 6 months later, I was barely hanging on. Hated my job, hated coming to the office. The new team never warmed to me, never included me. I was the project manager everyone knew had XXX'd someone on camera. That was my identity now. Not my skills, not my experience. Just that one mistake. I felt isolated, depressed. Started therapy, started applying to other jobs, updated my resume carefully, tried to figure out how to explain why I wanted to leave. Interviews were tricky, had to spin it. Say I wanted new challenges, wanted to work on different types of projects. Hope they wouldn't dig too deep? Hope they wouldn't call my current employer for detailed reference. Most places just did employment verification, confirmed I worked there, confirmed my title, didn't go into details about why I was leaving. Finally, 8 months after the incident, I got an offer. Different company. Similar role. They didn't call my current employer for reference. Just verified employment. Checked references from my previous company before this one. Offered me the job. I accepted immediately. Gave 2 weeks' notice. My last day, nobody said goodbye. Nobody wished me well. Just packed my desk quietly and left. Now it's been a year. I'm 32. At my new company, nobody knows about Austin, about Innovation Hub, about the security footage. I can be who I was before, professional, competent, trustworthy. But I'm different now, more careful, more aware. I don't drink at company events, don't flirt with coworkers, keep hard boundaries between personal and professional, polite but distant. That night taught me expensive lessons. That office cameras see everything. That company policies exist for good reasons. That one drunk decision can unravel years of hard work. That professional reputation once lost is nearly impossible to rebuild in the same place. That you have to start over somewhere new, somewhere your past doesn't follow you. I'm building a new reputation now, being the person I should have been all along. Sometimes I wonder what happened to David, if he rebuilt his career in Denver, if he thinks about that night, if he learned the same lessons. The security footage still exists somewhere, in some company server in Austin, proof of my worst professional moment. I can't erase it, can't undo it, can only move forward, be better, make smarter choices. That's what I'm doing. That's all I can do. One day at a time, one professional interaction at a time, building back what I destroyed. Learning to forgive myself, learning that everyone makes mistakes, and learning that some mistakes cost more than others, but you survive them anyway.